Hello, one more time. I thought 5 was going to be it, but my phone and I are still having issues, so welcome back to part 6. See now, while we were gone, I went ahead and finished up pressing the green clay into the mold where I had put the chalk pastels as a mold release. And just as a reminder, we started with this sketch, we have this, transferred it to clay, we sculpted it, made a mold, now we're on to this. So hopefully that means, before my phone yells at me again, I am going to show you how I place a hole for hanging. I'm gonna have to put it a little closer to the edge than I normally prefer, but I will try to work it. I want to call this the center line here. So ideally I'd put a hole about right there. So I want a 1/4 inch at least from the top. So I think what I'm going to do is start it just over here and then try to work it a little bit. So I'm pulling it in and just trying to reshape the edge of the leaf a little to make it look like it's just working with the curve of the leaf. It's not perfect, but it sort of works. And make sure that you reinforce the shape of the hole from this side as well. Doesn't matter how big a hole is on one side if you don't match it up on the other. There you go. So if you needed to hang a thick cord through there, that would work well. But really don't go any thinner than that. That's pushing it. Okay, so I did a little bit to reinforce the facial features, but I don't want to mess with her too much. We'll see once I get the mica powders on there. And generally what I do is I put the brightest color under the places that I want to have highlights, so that I ensure that something really bright is going to show through. So just really lightly going over the figure of the spirit here. Get that in there. And make sure that you get the neck. If you're doing something like this, you want the neck to be small and graceful in most cases, but it's easy to miss sometimes. So now that that's done, and you can see already how just a very gentle touch with the mica powders brings out all of that work that you've done. Now in the lowest portions, sort of the background portions, going to use cotton swab to apply this. Now remember, I did this texturing in the back. That was just to keep it from having a really matte, flat, uninteresting single color in the background. Gives a hint of some depth. Just go in and get in there. You don't have to get absolutely everything, and especially in a case like this where I really want more of the green to show through. It's okay to use a light hand with it. But the key with mica powders is if they really seem to be just sort of sparkling, they probably haven't adhered very well to the clay. If they adhere well, bake them in, they're fine. They really are. And it takes a lot of wear and tear to erode them at all. But the ones that just sort of rest on the surface, they come off almost like loose glitter. It's not glitter, but if it's not rubbed in, it won't adhere the same way. You just want to make sure you get that in there. So after that, I like to go in with my accent colors. And in this case, with this kind of project, I'm doing that with the Super Copper, which I think is a very bright color, but it's what I want for the berries. Just a very, very light touch. That's all that we need of that bright, bright copper color. Okay. And just in little bits, I think mostly at the tips, I'm going to put in some of this green. I don't often use this green, and when I do, it's sparingly, unless I want it to be the main color, because it grabs attention. So if you wanted to, you could use your mica powders for more like this, where you're getting a lot of very distinct colors. That's not how I roll, though. So all of that was prelude to this. Okay. So now I'm going to go over pretty much everything in this. What is this? This is Super Bronze. Because overall, I want the whole piece to look like copper with a bit of a patina. I just wanted hints of these other colors under there. You still get a little bit of the green shimmer, but it's just a hint of it now. And I will also be going over the entire background. There we go. Yeah, that blends in nicely. And now, instead of looking like it's been painted or glazed, it's going to get closer and closer to that faux metal look. But since you've seen all the different stages I take it through, if you wanted to try your hand at it, you might come up with a different balance. I'm just going to get in there a little bit. These are a little too delicate. And if you notice that there are any marks that you don't want, latent fingerprints, that kind of thing, rubbing gently with the mica powders helps to smooth things out and also dabbing a little with the Q-tip. Takes care of a little bit of that. All right. Now, need to get the back. And the degree to which you put mica powders on the back is entirely up to your discretion, but I definitely recommend putting some on the back so that it doesn't just look like the front is painted. And I usually go pretty aggressively on the sides as well, so that it ends up looking a bit like a medallion. And this is where you have the opportunity again to sort of smooth out any irregularities. So I think I'll give it a little bit more. Oftentimes I will use multiple shades on the back, but I think with this texture, it's not necessary to go in there and add any more interest. That looks nice. There. Now, usually once I've done that, you can see that I've gotten some of the mica powders from the front onto my hand. So I just go back and brighten up areas that are important. The only other thing I'm going to consider doing here is going in, just doing a touch to define the eyes and right under the lip there. I think that's all I'm going to mess with it. So there we have it. Finally, 6 videos in. Now I can use this mold to produce as many of these as I like, and in fact I can make smaller versions maybe that just have this part. It might be better for a pendant to wear, right? I hope you go and try your own and have happy holiday arting.